And what's up? This is the final episode 8 of my E3 recap and reviews. This is just what I'm looking forward to, uh, what I'll be playing, and I'm really curious what you think of everything that you saw at E3. Let us know what you're looking most forward to in the comments below. If you're just now joining us and this is your first video, the playlist is linked in the description. Go check out the other videos. Also, my predictions video is going to be linked because in previous episodes I have said what I predicted and actually was revealed. So I'm super proud of, especially my Bethesda, because I was pretty much perfectly spot on for everything that was revealed. So, without further ado, let's get down to it. Previously, I had pre-ordered Splatoon 2. We saw a little bit more about that. The Salmon Run mode, or Salmon Rush mode, looks great. It's like a horde mode. I love the original game. I didn't get into it again until recently. I had previously had it, but my ex stole my copy. So that was really great of her. Now, and the only question I have is the campaign going to feature around just the Squid Sisters, or is there going to be more story mode outside of that? And are we going to have dedicated servers for regions? I know the Switch is, there's no region lock, but my biggest concern and one of the biggest turnoffs for a lot of people was we were facing uber competitive Japanese, Korean players who seem to have perfect coordination in a system that had no chat support. So hopefully we have dedicated servers for like US, dedicated Korean servers, dedicated Japanese servers, etc., etc. Also, I'm looking forward to Destiny 2. It's already been on pre-order since it was revealed. I was a huge fan of Destiny 1, even though there was absolutely, basically no fucking story mode, which is to be expected of an MMO. But even MMOs have some lore, and Destiny seemed a little light on lore. I mean, they've even flat out admitted they had no fucking idea what the darkness was, even though the darkness has consumed you was when you died in a darkness zone. So, if you have no idea of what a fucking thing is, yet you insist on keeping it in there for the entirety of 3 years of this game's life, you have a serious problem. Other than that, Call of Duty World War II was my other pre-order that was already set aside. Like I've said in the Sony video, I am a huge retro Call of Duty fan, more than the more modern. I actually refuse to buy Infinite Warfare because of the jump packs and the lack of zombies. That's all has been keeping me in the franchise recently. And now that we're back, boots on the ground, it seems like we're going to have some fun again. And we're not going to have no-lifers sitting there who seemingly know how to jump and skim around the map with the greatest of ease and be able to kill you from halfway across the map with a fucking shotgun. It's always great. Okay, outside of that, Code Vein is another one I'm super looking forward to. It is there's no collector's edition announced for this, so as of right now, it's a $59 game here in the US. Crackdown 3, yet no release date, but I'm super looking forward to that as well. I mentioned that in the Microsoft video. Days Gone, day one purchase. Dishonored, Death of the Outsider. This one's coming out in December-ish. Even though I did not see this coming, I love the franchise. I love the world that they've created with this, so I'm looking forward to immersing myself in that again. Far Cry 5 has release date of February 27th, at least according to Amazon. That might be a placeholder date. We do not know that yet. That they have recently announced a collector's edition, which comes with like a deer bust and all sorts of weird stuff. So that's pretty cool. Even though I blasted it in the Sony video, I love the Marvel vs. Capcom series, so I will be purchasing, probably not day one, but I will be purchasing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, simply because of the fact that I do respect this franchise, even though it seems to have taken a bit of a weird turn graphically. The Capcom characters looking like they're out of a 16-bit fucking game versus the full film franchise Marvel characters that look like they were ripped right out of the damn major motion pictures that are released every 3 months now in the MCU. But I get it, Disney wants their characters to look super good since they own the movie rights, and fuck everyone else. It's just a business strategy. Ni no Kuni 2, the sequel to the sleeper hit. If you haven't played the original one, go do it. It's simply a beautiful Studio Ghibli game. We don't know the release date of it yet, but it's definitely going to be a great game, judging by what we've seen of it so far. Battlefront 2, Star Wars nerd, day one. Mario Odyssey is another one that I'm super looking forward to, even though I went on a little mini political rant about the bitching of the poncho and sombrero. This game seems to be a complete reimagining of the franchise of Mario. It's the hat possessing everything. It seems like a cool mechanic that, if done well, will really breathe some much needed life into the stellar Mario franchise. Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2 were my biggest takeaways from the Bethesda conference. I really love both of these franchises, and the fact that they brought them back, and the collector's edition that's been revealed for Wolfenstein 2 looks fucking great. As a kid who grew up in the 90s, I had a lot of the G.I. Joe dolls, and the fact that they have a B.J. Blazkowicz, basically a G.I. Joe doll, it seems really freaking cool. Kind of a throwback to that era, because in that time that they are in this alternate reality, it makes sense. It was the peak of World War II. That's when they first had the retro G.I. Joe figurines, dolls, whatever you want to call them. So having a B.J. Blazkowicz one in a Nazi propaganda world is just fucking glorious. Vampire. This is from Dot Not Studio. We don't know a release date of it yet, at least that I know of. If you do, drop it in the comments. Once this game is done, they're going to start working on the sequel to Life is Strange. Vampire, you live in a Black Plague era London where you basically are living with becoming a vampire and living with the moral choices that comes with being a vampire. And if we learn anything from Dot Not, they know how to. Sometimes they don't do it perfectly. I've had arguments on the podcast about how the ending of Life is Strange, the previous game from Dot Not, kind of shit the bed at the end. But if they learn from that and expand upon the choice web, as I'll call it, with this game, it really, really will have some great potential. And at the standard price of $59 here in the US, I mean, even if it does shit the bed at the end, which I'm hoping it doesn't, it will be a great fucking ride. Especially when I like that era of, especially since it's kind of similar to the era that we lived in the Dishonored franchise. It's just a great time to place a more choice-driven game. Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm a sucker for Assassin's Creed as a franchise. I fucking refuse to pay $800 for a fucking collector's edition. I don't. At $800, if they threw 2 fucking tickets or even a round trip ticket back and forth to Egypt with a hotel fare, all that shit, food, room and board, all that, yeah, I'd pay $800 for it because I'd love to explore Egypt. But a statue and some art prints. No, I'll get the edition under that at the 129 range. Get a nice statue, the pendant. I don't get the fucking fancy art cards. I don't give a shit. I'm not shelling out $800 to a Ubisoft. But I will buy your fucking game. Metro Exodus. I love the Metro series. But the term Xbox One X exclusive kind of turned me off. I'm hoping that it's not only for the Xbox One X. I hope I can play it on my Xbox One S. You see the issue with the naming here, Microsoft? If you're listening. Parents aren't going to know what to buy their kids. They're going to go, I'm definitely not paying $600 for a fucking console for you. I could buy you a laptop for that. It just seems like a dumb name for it. Scorpio sounded much better. You should have just stuck with that. Anyway, Metro Exodus, I'll definitely be buying when it comes out if it's not exclusive to that, because I refuse to shell out $600 for a console. I didn't do it with the PS3. I waited 3 years. I'm definitely not doing it for fucking Xbox. No, I have an Xbox One S. 8 terabytes of space. Coming soon. I won't ever need another hard drive again. But yeah, the world of these novels that have been translated into these books is fantastic. It's well written. These games used to be more linear, and now that it's going into an open world where you can cause havoc wherever you want to go. It's super great that they've done that. It gives so much more potential to these games in the future if they continue with this franchise. Although I believe he said this was the last book he was writing, Metro 2035. So unless he decides to change his mind, I don't know how they're going to continue with this franchise. Unless they just start making up lore and whoring themselves out, like Bethesda does. Middle-earth, Shadow of War. I've already said in multiple videos I'll be picking this game up day one because I love the Lord of the Rings franchise. I'm not buying the Mithril edition because it's sold out already, so I guess I'm just going to be getting the Gold edition, which comes with a season pass. It's $99 if you didn't know. If you are able to find the Mithril edition, let us know. That statue would look really great on my shelf, and I'm sure a couple of the others that are fans of Lord of the Rings will definitely buy that as well. God of War 2018, definitely day one purchase. I love the franchise. Life is Strange, Before the Storm, I've already ordered. I love this franchise. I love the characters. I love the story. I love everything about it, even if in the original. And I can agree with one of my fellow podcasters on this. If you're going to alter time that much and the worst that comes out of it is one fucking tornado, there's something wrong with your thoughts of how time distortion works. But I mean, maybe they kind of didn't know how to go with that, or maybe in the sequel we'll see more of the destruction of this event that Max caused. But this being a prequel, we don't know anything of how it's going to go down other than it's before. Right after Max left, and Chloe feels isolated and alone in this and gets into hell of a lot of trouble. I love Chloe as a character, even if, like I said, my fellow podcasters don't. I can respect their opinion, they can respect mine. Obviously, back in the back, you see the Coon and Friends banner, as I mentioned before. I'm super looking forward to South Park with the Fractured Butthole, and also their mobile game. I'm not a huge fan of mobile gaming outside of like 5 or 6 games that I have on my phone, but a South Park game sounds like the perfect fit for them. And obviously Fractured Butthole, the sequel to The Stick of Truth, one of the greatest games that Ubisoft's ever come out with. Super looking forward to that. Speaking of Super Lucky Tale, a game I had no idea even existed until it was announced coming to the Xbox One. It's a $30 game. Uh, and yeah, I know nothing about this other than it's an expansion upon what was released in a VR game a couple years ago when the Oculus dropped. So I'm excited to experience this for the first time. State of Decay 2, hopefully it's a little bit more in-depth in the creation system, a little bit more open worldy, where you can have more choices of where you set up your bases, and there's more consequences uh, than the first one. It got a little stale, but it was a fun game, so I'm looking forward to the second one. They said it's more expansive, so I'll take their word for it. Metroid Returns for the 3DS. Obviously, like I said in the Nintendo video, I was super pumped when I saw that. And Metroid Prime 4. Obviously, I'm not going to pre-order something I don't even know if it's coming out in 2018, so I'm not going to pre-order Metroid Prime 4 right now, but I will be obviously pre-ordering the 3DS game. And obviously, all the amiibos that are coming for these games and the Fire Emblem Warriors game is a definite buy for me because I love Fire Emblem and I love the Dynasty Warriors franchises. And like I said in the Microsoft video, Cuphead is another game I'm looking forward to. Just because of how as an artist, it takes a lot of skill to draw every frame by fucking hand. It takes a lot of skill to translate that into what they've made this world that they've created into. So I can respect the living hell out of these people. I did not want this game rushed. If they feel it's done, I'm going to support it. I can't express enough how beautiful this is. They've done this like an old school Disney movie, frame by frame by frame by frame, and create this world. It's probably one of the most in-depth, most detailed games I've ever seen anybody pour their heart out into. So, if nothing else, go check out what they've done with this, and you'll see what I mean. This game looks like an old school Disney shot, a one-shot or fucking old school movie. So it's a platformer that seems as difficult as the old school Mega Man games. So it's a perfect blend of both. So go check it out. And with that, I'm going to sign out. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you're looking forward to. I really, really appreciate you sticking with me throughout these 8 videos. This is my first upload for Social Gamer Pad, and this is my first major featured series here on the Planet Unity channel. So links to both channels will be in the comments or the description of each video. I really appreciate it, and I know my fellow content creators on the channels appreciate everything you do for us. Peace.